We'll begin on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I almost got that right.
Close enough. Alright, here we go. Starting out with escape, pretty standard stuff. Oh, on my end, is the video from Flare muted? Is that just me?
Yeah, Flare's video is muted, does not have audio.
Right.
So we'll be using Dudek's audio.
Right. Well, Flare actually going for pipe strat, which is a little bit risky in a race. But making it all work. Definitely special wings. Always gonna see escape like this in Jack 2 runs. I also need to figure out how to like properly set up YouTube videos like this. Oh, Flare does take a death though at the end of the escape. Which puts Dudek in the lead. I think it's Dudek, right?
That's what I know him by.
There's a couple strats you can do here. It's always fun to see if people play around with Dark Jack strats. You can do an uppercut just before you turn to Dark Jack. Like, if you time it just right, you fly upwards, and it saves like half a second of the animation to Dark Jack. Doesn't really save time, but it makes like lining up to hit the guards properly a little bit easier. That gives you some more leeway in getting the hits the way you want them to. Some people like to hit all the guards at once, and like do one punch and then one spin. Other people just do like 2 spins. Some people go like left and right. I always find it really funny how people like can differentiate in such a small thing in so many ways. Because nobody does this the same. Yeah, managing to the death and escape. Dudek's ahead a little bit now. From all the new death warps and stuff. Well, I say new, they're all... I think this is about half a year old by now. But I'm still catching up on what's new and what's old. Myself. Oh, I'm getting pretty bad Zuma luck. It's always the one thing that gets into your head. Even though it, like, you're not gonna lose that much time over this, but it just kinda sucks. There is a little bit of luck involved, not too much. It's really just a couple of times getting the right Zuma spawns, and basically like getting good traffic, not having any like Hellcats in the way, especially. Hellcats like the big red cruiser things. Those can really create traffic jams, especially on this overpass. Yeah, there's actually one there. Like, if you get like a bigger Zuma and one of those, you usually get a traffic jam, and it's kind of annoying to get around. Alright, gets in there. Yeah, it goes for this strat, the boosted. I guess the longer one. And what you ideally want to happen is that you immediately die basically in the same height as the lower end of the elevator there. But if you do that, there's, depending on where you land exactly, you can in fact also just take a death and end up outside of Mars 2. Yeah, this is what I was talking about on Flare stream. Those Hellcats can be really annoying. I'm glad I mentioned it now. Managed to jam his way on the right side somehow, which I didn't actually think was going to work, but it did. Dudeks have got a little bit of trouble getting that little jump there. You need to jump basically on the foot of the pillar there, because otherwise you can't get enough height to get out of bounds like this. You need just a little bit more height. You can get that by stepping on that little pedestal there. Let's see what kind of variation of left tombs that we go for. The big thing to look out for is if they go for the strat where you dive into the Dark Eco and get invulnerability. Which, yeah, looks like Dudek goes for, and he gets it. If you dive in the Dark Eco in a specific way, the Dark Eco doesn't kill you, and you get a specific state which makes you invulnerable. And if you then dive on the ground and take damage, you get Invul 2, as it's called, which allows you to just bypass the boulder as Daxter, and then you can do this. And for whatever reason, I have no clue why this works, but that turns you into Jack. Like if you jump after the spider hits you there. That's still like the weirdest part of this whole trick to me. That makes no sense to me, but it just kind of works. Props to whoever figured that out. This looks really clean from Dudek so far. See if he gets the hover in. A lot of people have... Oh god, I just cursed it tonight. Yeah, that's happened to quite a few people. They just barely missed the hover there. I had trouble with it myself in my own race. Yeah, opts to just take the extra cutscene, which I think is correct. And yeah, Flare, okay, gets in the normal way. Doesn't go for the chase skip. And now they're almost even. It's still a small lead for Dudek. But the lead's almost gone now. Because Dudek put a lot of time into trying to get this skip to work. Oh, goes for the double jump spin, alright. Gets to the end of it normally. There's really not too much to talk about here. You just basically press square a bunch and you don't die. That's pretty much all you can do. The spider that's chasing you has a maximum speed, and as long as you stay a long enough distance away, there's no real time to be gained or lost here. As long as you don't let the spider get too close to you. This chase pretty much always takes the same amount of time. Hello there.
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
Ah, no worries. We're a couple minutes into the race.
Alright.
Did G3 send you the YouTube links?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
1 sec.
right. Oh, you have to skip to about the 7-minute mark. To make sure you're like a few seconds out of the stream, so it's easy to follow. Oh yeah, Dudek goes for the strat where you land out of bounds with the jump forward to get to right tomb. It's a bit tricky to land there because he filled it once. They're basically dead even now. Let's see if they both get it now. Yeah, looks like they both got it. Yeah, it's just completely even now. Alright, now for Tombstone. There's 6 different patterns you can get here. And yeah, looks like Dudek's really like checking his sheet of what patterns he got. Has to listen to it again. Well, Flair has the movement down more cleanly here. If you listen to the tombstone in the bottom left, we have it figured out so that you basically already know what pattern you got. And from then on, it's just doing the right movement, where you want to hit 2 of the tombstones at the same time, in such a way that you always finish one combination of them. But I think Dudek thought he had a certain pattern, but actually had a different one. That's probably what happened. Oh, I don't have audio from Flair's stream, but I think he also messed up something. It's kind of hard to tell. But I do feel like this is taking longer than it should. Flair does get out of tombstones first, though. And gets to the other side.
Ooh, a little bit of a death from dude.
Yeah, that's a death. Easy way to cover that. Just turn around, do that hover. Oh, we got some weird bounce. Yeah, you can do that in a couple of ways. Yeah, this is another way you can do it. Stand here and do it slowly. Yeah, gets an awkward bounce off of the thing there. Kind of tricky to know when you can jump or not. In the meantime, Flair's at the first phase of, I was gonna say crew, praxis. Oh wow, we have a command for the tombstone pattern. Yeah, there you go. If you click on that link, you'll see the image that most people use at least to do tombstones. Now, some people like Headstrong actually have them memorized by heart. There are also other patterns. I know like Vesa used his own ones back in the day. Same with Dex, he had his own patterns. I don't think any of them were better or worse. Actually, no, hold on. I think the ones that we currently use are the ones that Blazer made back in the day. Correct myself. Alright. Ah, okay. Flare not getting the 5 hits on the second phase, which makes the last phase a bit slower.
Alright, still has a bit of a lead. Love to see it.
Doesn't go for any kind of manip either. I don't blame him. I don't even understand how the manip works myself.
Yeah, I just like
I
the
know it's a
most.
thing.
Yeah, the most I do is like kind of like have like a bomb out, wait for practice to like break some of the floor, and then I hit. That's like all all the strats I
The
do
big
here.
thing that is like really easy to go for is once a part of the floor is broken, you want to stand close to that after hitting him with a bomb, so that you can like zoom your camera in there, and that'll usually make Praxis go there up again, and he'll just shoot a bomb without breaking the floor again. And that's faster than having Praxis destroy or shoot around. That's the very basic strats for doing this. Oh, that recon. Yeah, out of Praxis, we have Flare with a small lead. The rest is still very much close.
Yeah, and the race is still young.
Flare's a good means ahead of his PB though, because Flare has a 124.32. Apparently 124.30 according to the stream. But yeah, Jack 2 is notoriously, well, rough in general. That goes both as a casual game and as a speed game.
Yeah,
There's many sections, especially in the early game, where you can lose lots of time.
yeah, it has
But later, later on in the game, it's basically just a weapons factory and underport that loses most people all the time. But in the early game, like almost every mission can lose you a bunch of time.
yeah, definitely.
Like
Very
this
interesting first couple of minutes.
is a little bit far to the left. I think this is fine. Yeah, it just goes a little bit higher. I think that should still work.
Ooh, no, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, a bit too
Unfortunate.
far. Alright, let's see. Dudek is also a bit far to the left, but this looks like a lineup of some sort. Yeah, like Dudek looked like he did that on purpose. And usually people aim for the two windows there because for whatever reason the windows there don't really have any collision, whereas the rest of the wall around it, for the most part, does. I think that is just the easiest point to hover through. And because of Death Womp shenanigans, the lily goes back to Dudek. Yeah, splits like talk to Torn are really like something you don't initially want to practice because it's not really a mission, it's just straight up movement from A to B. But they're really important. Like,
Yeah,
you can map out
exactly.
all this movement. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, one of the most important parts to Jack 2, in my opinion, is just the movement from into each mission.
For sure. Alright, let's see how this hover goes in Rescue Friends. Oh, that's arranged by the book. That's what you want to see. There's also a neat little clip you can do here, where you just jump and spin. That might look difficult, but it's completely free.
Yeah.
You just jump up and then you just, the wall just kind of lets you through. Right. Yeah, speaking of movement, this whole section to 2 is also a big thing that a lot of people mess up a lot. Oh, that's just bad luck. Okay. Oh boy. Landing on top of a Hellcat there. Yeah, that gets you God level 2, is what you could call it. It makes people mad at you. You get shot a lot. It's not very nice. Dudek might actually take a death here, which would be pretty unfortunate. Yeah, that's a nice hover. Should be good. Unless like God randomly snipes him. That almost happened.
Oh, I'm just looking at Flare for a second. Looked like he
Yeah.
died right saving his friends. That sucks.
Yep. Yeah, this is a pretty particular hover. And yeah, like stuff like that can happen where you just die over and over again, and you're like, why doesn't this hover work? I was holding left. I think that works. Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, I think it takes 3 shots with the scattergun to take out those laser beam shooting metal hits, whatever they're called. But it also takes 1 punch and a red shot.
Yeah.
So typically you'll see people doing a punch and then R1 into them. This is also a part where some luck is involved. Ideally you want to stand where Dudek is standing right about now, and just spin shoot, and hope that the 2 spawn points directly where Jack's standing now and to his right. You want all of them to appear around there. But they can also appear on the other end of the room, which is what happened to Dudek a lot. I think 3 or 4 of them spawn there.
Yeah.
And that typically ends up costing you a couple seconds, and maybe more importantly, some ammo.
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially like in the early game, ammo's pretty important. Well, I mean throughout the run, but like, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the big points where you can really lose ammo. Because it's pretty important for the next mission coming up, 1 month. The number you're looking for is, well, some people say it's 100. I would say it's a 90. If you have 90 yellow ammo by the end of this mission, you should be good.
Yeah, it's like around that range.
Yeah. And if you're a little bit short, you can pick up 20 ammo after this mission.
Yeah, there's one like right in your torn.
Hell yeah, red gun strats. Yeah, I was preaching this in an earlier race. I think people should just do this.
Yeah, I always just go with the red gun there.
It saves ammo if you're scared about that. It's really not that slow. Because you shoot like you're killing them all in one swoop. And I also think there's like no risk of taking damage. So personally, I'm a big fan of that little strat. And this last part of Sewers ammo management is really very important. You want to shoot all of them around 3 times with the blue gun. You don't just want to go ham and keep firing, because you will end up having to waste a lot of yellow ammo on this.
Yeah.
The less you have to use your yellow gun on this, the better. Alright. Dudek finishing up Sewers with around 87 ammo, so might want to take ammo. I think he's like borderline okay. Oh, Flare leaving one of those guys alive. Right, and now we're coming up to Bombards. Another little section with the jet board. This is probably the section with the jet board I've practiced the most, because this little bit of terrain here is so awful.
Yeah,
You
it
need to
can be
know, like,
really annoying.
you need to know like every little bump in the road, and where you want to do a high jump, a low jump, or in this corner you want to do like a lot of low hops to preserve your speed. There's a lot of intricacies in jet board movements.
It's one of the things I really love about Jetboard. It's very like deep, the mechanics of it.
Yeah. Like, Dudek opts not to get a little bit of extra ammo. Goes for speed. And also, yeah, it looks like he goes for the strat where you hover here. But bombot all the way in the back. You can land out of bounds here, and it's a little bit faster if you get it optimally, but Dudek got stuck on a wall there. So we'll end up losing a little bit of time here. Right, first bombot goes great. You want to kind of get stuck in the head of the bombot while you're spinning, and then for whatever reason the spin kick just hits a lot. Most of the damage you do here comes actually from spinning and not so much the yellow gun, though it is important. Those finals who blast Dudek did cost him like an extra 10 bullets, which is a bit unfortunate. Might have to like some awkward red gun shots or something at the end. One thing that's nice about bombots is you can always kind of know how fast you are by seeing where the last bombot is.
Yeah.
But this bombot is not too bad. It's a bit slower than you want, ultimately. It's not too bad. Yeah, on the other screen you see Flare opting to take all 4 ammo actually, because you can take all of those boxes and 2 of them contain yellow ammo and 2 of them contain blue ammo. If you do a punch board right at the start there, it's convenient to grab one of those boxes, so you get 2 yellow ammo or 20. But Flare opts to take all of them, so he gets 40 yellow ammo instead. Next coming up for Dudek, we have oh,
Yeah, that's
taking a
unfortunate
death.
death.
That's unfortunate. Was that on the first or the second bombard?
That was like the first one. He went for the hover.
Ah, I see. Well, at least that's definitely going to be good on ammo now. Because of that, Dudek now has a pretty comfortable lead. I want to say like just over a minute or so. Let's see if Dudek goes for any kind of lap skips. Looks like he does not, which I think is completely understandable. Like I know I've been preaching that lap skips are pretty easy, and I would say especially in a Class 2 race, they're very much worth it. But they can definitely still go wrong, especially if you go for them 5 times.
Yeah, that's the thing with class races. It's not that so much that they're hard, it's they do it so many times in the race.
I think for sure that if you're going for like a PB, almost whatever your level, I guess, I think it's good to learn them. But in a race, I completely understand not going for them. We've all seen in past races, like, we've got like 4 or 5 people even take 1 or several deaths in Class 2. And most of those deaths were because of going for the skip but failing. Oh, what? Thank you for the raid, Paul. Glad to have you all watching here. Yeah, it looks like despite me saying that Flare should be good on ammo, I still had to go for some radgun strats at the end.
Yeah, I was a little confused. You got like a bunch of ammo there.
Looks like the lead has actually grown a bit. Now, well over 2 minutes, judging by the race time that Dudek is getting. Should be around 2 minutes. It's about what you're going to get in a good race without skips. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. This game's a lot of fun casually as well. The only thing that's a little bit sad about the speedrun, there's a lot of fun missions in the other game that you don't really get to see. Like, I really like the one where you're jetboarding in the mines, where you have to like go up the ramps and throw the bombs in. Missions like those you don't see in the speedrun because you just kind of skip like 60-70% of the run of the game right at the start. Like in the first couple minutes of the run, you skip into Mars 2. And from there on, you basically just do the last 1/3 of the game, more or less.
Yeah, it's just the conclusion of Act 2 and then Act 3.
Let's see the Zuma hops. Yeah, Dudek tried to go for Zuma hops on that Zuma with while moving forward. And I was taught earlier that it's actually impossible to do that on that specific Zuma. On the other Zuma that doesn't have the flaps on the back, you can do them while moving. But you can't on that Zuma.
Interesting.
G3 just casually roasting Jack 2 without even speaking up. Let's see how it is. This game's great, what do you mean? Dudek missing the Peacemaker. Oh my god, just opts to go forward. Yeah, I like the decision making by Dudek. Just playing it safe in general.
Yeah, it's all about consistency. Like obviously in runs and like PB attempts, it's very important as well. But specifically, especially in races, it can be really important to have your tricks down, having them consistently.
Oh, struggles a bit getting up the water here. Yeah, you need a little bit of distance if you want to do an extended front flip there. Did the audio from the game drop out? Let me listen to the stream.
Player literally just almost gave me a heart attack. He was doing a lap skip and he like was on the railing.
Yeah. Hold on, let me spam ping G3 so he can fix it. Help G3, please help. Alright, G3 should be on his way and probably fix the audio issues. It's back, alright. Yeah, do mention it if stuff like that happens. Alright, now we have Error Race coming up. Everyone's favorite mission, not. This is a mission that has deterred many people from running this game. I know that much for a fact. It's
Yeah.
the rougher missions.
I mean, after a while, once you do it enough, it becomes less painful. Though until you like get like a lot better at it, it's still the pain is always there.
Yeah. I think the most apt comparison with Jack 3 would actually be something like BTR, where it's a mission that people usually hate at the start, but once you get a lot better at it, you kind of understand how much agency you actually have, and it gets a lot better. Although I would say BTR is vast in a much more extreme degree. But this race definitely has that a little bit as well, I would say.
Also, BTR is an actually good mission.
There you go. I mean, I would agree. There's a lot more to BTR than this. There's no solid people in BTR for one. Although, saying that, I guess some of like the enemies are, I guess they're always solid, but it doesn't really matter if the ramp and the car just go right through them. Rubik has been saying that, it wasn't me. I'm not a fan of it personally, but I do understand why people like it. Yes, I am a snitch.
I just got it one like in my casual playthrough. I got BTR first try like, and then like I'm like, okay, I like this mission now. I didn't fail at all.
What? Okay. Getting the Peacemaker over. And I saw Dudek get a trip earlier, which means that he's going too fast. Sometimes the game makes you trip over if you're trying to load stuff and Jack's too close to loading zones. The game basically wants you to slow down, so they force you into the trip animation.
I mean, you can get out of it using a jetboard.
Wait, you can... Wait, hold on. You can press R2 out of the trip animation.
That's what I've heard. I've done for underport. Sometimes you'll like mess up. You know, you'll
Yeah.
sometimes just trip there. I just punch board. I'm not punch board. I just go on jet board.
Oh, I did not actually know that. There you go. Yeah, that's a common place where it happens if you mess up the underput skip. That will happen later on. Alright, I'll let you find out in the chat whether BTR is a good mission or not. The power. I can just say BTR and get people mad. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know about that.
I remember Aslov just came into my chat one time when I was doing underport skip nitro and was like, just go on the jet board. Like Blair on Arrow Race now.
Yep. So Dudek's going for the death warps here. This is why you go for jetboard movement there. Or get stuck in the wall. Yeah, absolutely just not go for it again. Since you end up around here-ish anyway. Yeah, the second one I personally found a bit tricky on jetboard, but yeah. The smart thing to do is just go. I was gonna say all the way over there, but yeah, like there's a lot more solid walls there than you might expect. And the part where you clip through with the zoomer is a lot easier. Yeah, actually opts to go for the zoomer as well. So that spot just kind of nicely lines up where you have to go.
Oh.
Oh,
messed
Flare
up.
going for ringless, but just barely clips the edge of a ring there. That's unfortunate. It's gonna lose him like over a minute. Yeah, I think Flair told me yesterday that he likes to go for ringless because it just makes the mission more consistent for him, even though
That's
he
fair.
doesn't really go faster with it.
Love when you just like get out of somewhere and then guards are like right there.
Yep.
Instant guard.
It's very easy to, yes, exactly, to do this. We're like, oh, punch board, get hit, punch board, get hit. Then
Yeah.
suddenly you're on 1 health. Ooh, nice hover there. Kind of a weird angle at first, but saved it by going slower in the hover and then faster again. Let's see if Dudek knows about the new strat here. It was found, I think, a couple weeks ago now. Saves a couple seconds. You can land on this platform here, and if you hold the camera to the right and restart warp about halfway through here, when you round a corner, let's see if Dudek goes for it. Yeah, it looks like he will, because he's turned the camera to right. Yeah, if you restart mission around this point, the camera is close enough to a checkpoint later on in the mission that you can just go straight to Samos. Which is obviously great. This saves a couple seconds from having to do the movement. This does mean that you can't do the restart warp afterwards. You will have to actually just move yourself all the way back. Which is different from the way a lot of people used to do this, where they would initially go to Samos and then restart warp on the way back. But you can only do one of them, not both.
I'm pretty sure it saves like 4 to 6 seconds.
Yeah, I've been told it saves around 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Looks like Flair also managed to finish up Arrow Race this time. This this is not a big mission where your ammo really matters. This is the main point in the game where you can collect ammo for later on in the game, particularly for crew later on. So ideally for the crew fight, you want as much purple ammo as you can get. The game is nice enough to give you 5, so you will be able to do crew skip regardless, but you need 5 purple ammo to do that mission with the skip, which saves 35 seconds. But the more you get, the more you're allowed to do shots for the rest of the crew fight, which also are a bit faster than just shooting in with a blaster gun or punching crew. Which is why people will typically try to farm some ammo here. The way it works is that the game basically gives you what you don't have. So if you have full ammo and everything else, the game is more or less forced to give you a bunch of purple ammo, which is normally the rarest drop in the game. That's another reason why people typically just punch and kick their way through, so they don't have to use as much ammo. And there you go, you now see a bunch of purple ammo on the ground. In the meantime, Flair finished the Blight Seed and is now heading over to Onin to start the same mission that Dudek just finished. Yeah, you can get that really nice looking hover right between those trees there, which is really satisfying to get. Yeah, Flair going for a little bit of improv with the hovers going towards Onin. Now Dudek goes for the second ghost town. I actually completely passed over the first ghost town, but in some places where you go from outside the city to inside the city, where when you completely skip the door, you can get ghost town, which is where all vehicles and all people are just kind of gone, and it's just the city and you. It's nice to jetboard around in. But more
Yeah,
often
it's a
than not,
fun little time to have.
yeah. Usually you do some jetboard movement to die somewhere convenient, like here.
Yeah, because if you go into like, let's say like a brooder cutscene, you could just soft lock the game.
Yep. Yeah, I think some of them don't even load. Sometimes you can like soft lock or hard lock. Oh, what? That should not have worked, Flair, and you know it. That really should not have worked. Yeah, I think so far this race is summed up pretty well by Dudek just playing kind of to what's expected. He's going for mostly safe strats. I think they're both playing roughly to around what their level would suggest. They're both
Yeah.
like around a minute behind their PBs. Yeah, if you line it up just right, you can punchboard inside the VINs here, which allows you to move around a little bit quicker. Destroy eggs.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
God.
not
Fall
good.
off. That's a death. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
that's terrible.
Yeah, that really sucks. Like, it doesn't lose much time on this mission itself. It loses like 5 seconds on this mission, but it means you will have to do the drive of shame
Yeah.
because speedrunners activate the lurker mission before they start this mission. They carry it over. The idea is that you do the 2 missions at Vin's here, and then afterwards you restart Warp all the way back to Bruta, so you can start the mission there again. But if you take a death in either of the 2 missions, which Dudek just did, you will have to do the drive of shame, where you drive all the way back, because now you can't restart Warp back to Bruta. Yeah, that's a big time loss.
That's very unfortunate.
Will allow Flair some leeway in catching back up. Although I think even with that, Dudek should still have a decent lead. now down. Titan suit, just kind of walking.
Oh no, he died in
Oh, did he
Titan
fall?
suit.
Oh, yeah, I jumped a little bit early.
Hey,
Oh, that's rough. Gotta be feeling Flare on his heels now.
now you have to do the walk of shame.
There's the walk of shame, right? Yeah, I wonder if these two were in a voice call when this race happened. Because sometimes people opt not to, sometimes people chat together while the race is going on.
I did remember them seeing both of them in the call. I don't know if they were like muted or anything.
This kind of thing definitely affects it when you're talking. I've been in races like this before, like you know like what pace the other person's on. Yeah, opposite just jump over. Gets the shot there. Yeah, you can get like stuck behind that button. Hit the lever in the back a bit more easily.
Like Flare also got Dead Town.
Yep. Looks good so far. Alright, now Dudek's coming up on the computer room, which is also pretty annoying. You can lose a deceptively large amount of time here. You want to hit like all the computers consecutively. Ideally, you want to get like 2 or 3 hits on one of the 4 at once. There's 4 on this one block, and then 4 on the other block as well. But as you can see, these metalheads can really get in the way. Titan Suit has some weird kind of auto-aiming where if there's a metalhead close enough and you press the punch button, you will automatically just target them. And it can really mess you up, because then they hop off your head, and then you auto-target them again, you miss them, they get a second chance to hop back on. And just, yeah, it's pretty awful. Yeah, a lot of the time you'll see, like what Dudek just did, where you purposely just kind of walk away from them in the hopes of getting a decent enough lineup that you'll still hit, but you're kind of away from the middle heads. It's pretty finicky. In the meantime, Flare is just on his way to Vin, as Dudek is finishing up. I find it hard to tell how much time's actually between them, but Flare still has a little bit of time save going for him. Assuming he doesn't die in the next 2 missions, because obviously Flare could also very much still take a death there, or Dudek taking another death in the escape part. Yeah, this is usually the most hectic part, where you're like, I really don't want to die here, because I'll have to do the drive of shame. Oh, okay, Flare. Is that? Oh, please don't fall in. Okay, barely didn't fall in. Yeah, had a bad angle on the hover there. Decides to go for this strat instead, which is pretty safe. And they're both just hovering over the problems as I say that. Flare, messing up the roll jump. Yeah, like if you roll jump from that position, that typically happens because the ledge of the box just kind of ruins your momentum and you fall perfectly just over the box and you fall dead. That's just something you kind of need to know. You can't really roll jump there. Like you can do an uppercut, you can just like double jump spin. It looks like you should be able to roll jump there, but you just kind of can't. That's unfortunate. That means that Flare as well will have to do the drive of shame. Which means that the difference between each of the 2 runners of screens is now back to accurate. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that just kind of has to happen to you once or twice before you know it, Flare. There's lots of things like that in this game where like the game kind of screws you over, and yes, you can know it. You do need to know that it's a thing. But like nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, make sure not to roll jump there when you learn this. Because if you look at all the top runners play this, they don't do roll jumps there, and you have no reason to assume Well, you wouldn't be able to do Vulcan there, so most people will end up dying there at least once while speedrunning this. It really just comes with experience. Like, Dudek taking a death warp here. Does that put him in front of Bruda? If you're in that room? Oh, it does. That's neat. It's a neat little time save on Drive of Shame, I suppose.
Saving time and the part where you are already losing time.
Yeah, still, like, that's a good little backup save. I
Yeah.
didn't actually know that myself.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, no, dude. Dudek and Lurkers, the best mission of this game.
I kind of like Locus. Like, it's terrible, but I kind of like it.
It's kind of like funny. Like it's
Yes.
like good in a painful way. It's like it encapsulates this game in general, you know?
True. There's a lot of jank that can happen when the Locus just refuse to get on your Zoomer.
Yeah.
Start walking in circles, or they suddenly gain the ability to walk on water. Alright. First set of looks going well for Dudek. See if the second pair also goes well. Positions where the vehicle spawns always the same, so the pattern for how you do lurkers is roughly the same, where you pick up one lurker, then you move to the other one, and by the time you move to the other one, that one's always already close to the location where you drop the lurkers off, like you see here. And ideally you want to make it so that you will never have to pick up the second lurker there, so it'll just find its way into underground by itself. Because that's what you're doing here, you're saving the lurkers because they're basically being used as slave workers. Oh, yeah, this is definitely a rough one. Yeah, you don't want to be shooting here because there's a big chance that the lurker just gets launched into the water. And if the lurker does land on the water, you just straight up lose the mission. We'll have to do it all over again. Definitely good on Dudek for taking that safe. Yeah, okay, gets the nice spawn direction for the last lurker. That last vehicle can also go much closer to the river, which can also be annoying. But if it goes that way, it's very convenient to kill it. Grab the last lurker. Flare going... trying to get the zoomer for going back to lurkers. Yeah, finally gets one. In the meantime, Dudek's going for class 1 now. And I will amend my ways. I will now no longer suggest that people should definitely do this because they're free. The skips on class 1 races are free, I will stand by that, but they don't really save time unless you have another boost and you're ready to the next, you're ready close to the next 2 boosts. Yeah, Dudek opts to not go for them. And without skips, and you have a good race, you're gonna get a time of just like 203, 204.
Ooh.
Get a race like that,
Unfortunate
happy.
death. Yeah, from... I hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate to see it. Makes a death there. Luckily, it was only on the second lap, so it's not too bad.
Look back at player screen, seeing some of the jank happening with the lurkers just being completely launched.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, one thing you can do to slow lurkers down is shoot them with the blue gun in the air, which is not really ethical, but it stops their momentum for some reason.
But also shoot them to reset their position.
Yep. Dudek's just doing the same thing every lap, just using this to boost Nakor or that. I think we'll get something like a 2 or 3-ish. It looks pretty good. Oh, yeah, there you see another flying lurker there. They can get launched much further than you might expect.
I like how like there's that off chance where it'll actually help you, and they just get like pushed. They get launched further and closer to the where they need to go.
What was the final time? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, I didn't. I was looking at player screen.
Oh, yeah. That lurker. Oh, it fell in the water. Oh, no, yeah, that's why that vehicle going there is so scary. If you're not careful, it can very easily just kind of steer a little bit towards the right, then the lurker gets ejected into the water. Very scary. Was it 2 or 9, really? I thought it was faster than that. Speaking of Ratchet and Clank, there's a billboard here, just about what Dudek's going to. That's a small little cameo. The studio is developing Jack and Daxter games and Ratchet and Clank games. We're apparently very close to one another. I think they were like one room across one another.
Yeah, they're
There's
living in like the same like base.
Yeah,
and they were
there's a couple
making
cameos for each game, which makes sense. Like they're also very similar games in a way. Like you have a main, like kind of action platforming kind of protagonist with a smaller sidekick on the shoulder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parallels to be had there. Yeah, Dudek not opting to keep going for Zoomer hops, especially with the guards chasing him. Decides to go for the all reset warp here. Yeah, does go for this neat little hover. That saves a couple seconds. Ah, doesn't quite get it. Yeah, in that case, you're better off just immediately reset warping. And now coming up on Palace, which is a mission where nothing should go wrong, but it definitely can go wrong. It's really the classic example of hovering over your problems in Jak 2. You just kind of go to this little corner here and then you hover to the end. But there are different lineups for this. The safer one that most people go for nowadays is where you go to the left here. I assume Dudek will do that as well, yeah. You'll land here and then wait for the elevator to open and go in. You can also land on the right of the elevator, which is what people used to do. But it's a bit riskier because there's a pipe there, there's some guards that can actually snipe you midair. And you need to be a bit more precise because there's a lot less room to land in. But the new way is definitely safer. It's probably not faster though. I think the old way might actually be slightly faster. It probably doesn't really matter. Because I think, don't quote me on this, but I think you can actually like land straight in and immediately reset warp. Whereas with the method that Dudek just used, you kind of have to wait for the door to open first. Alright, now Flare is again at the last lurker. I think he already dropped it off, so he should be good to go now.
It's a bit of a weird hover from Dudek. Yeah, he decides to
Yeah.
just go again.
Yeah, our bonks on the lamp. Yeah, you're gonna have to do that again.
Ooh, and then another bonk.
Speaking of hovering over your problems, this
Yeah.
is Weapons Factory, like easily one of the hardest missions in the entire game, playing it casually. Where, for some reason, the guards can actually kind of aim well on this mission. But
Yeah,
hey,
there's just like a couple missions that they just have a lot better aim.
you just kind of hover to the end. And then there's Robo Skip, where you first go back up here. Oh, see if he gets it the second time. Another back up here. Punch down here. To be honest, I don't really know why this is a thing, but oh, don't die. Okay, good.
Yeah, that part always scares me so much because the guards have like they will just destroy you over there.
Yeah, people used to just use a Peacemaker shot there to just hit them and then you're completely safe. But I feel like most people just YOLO it nowadays because they don't want to use any purple ammo. But yeah, if you go up here, oh yeah, I was too far to the right. Go a bit further to the left there, and you take it down. You, for whatever reason, you skip the elevator shaft and you'll straight up back cruise. You don't need to kill those robots at all. But it's pretty scary now since he's at 1 HP.
Yeah.
Does he get it? I think so. I don't think he needs to go up a second time. Yeah, this should work. Yeah, there you go. Now he's at the crew fight. Crew fight used to be a lot more annoying than it was. Now you only really need to do 2 phases instead of all 3. Because it is found that you can stack Peacemaker shots on top of one another. And you can do so much damage with that one huge shot that you can do more than one of Crew's health bars. Which allows you to skip the 3rd phase entirely. But the rest is still very much the same. You don't really need to worry about ammo here. You have plenty of ammo from the Protect Samus mission from earlier. Flair's also finishing up Class 1 in the meantime. Did actually opt to go for at least a couple of the skips, but ends up getting, I didn't see what it was, I think it was like 218 something.
Oh yeah, it was like
actually,
a 218, 220, I think.
Which is actually slower than what Dudek got. Kind of goes to showcase my point that even if you go for the fancy little skip, it might not actually save time.
Yeah.
They do look
Oh.
cool. Like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
I think Flair got a hardlock there, which sometimes happens
Could
after
be.
Class 1. If you skip the cutscene deck too quickly, you can hardlock. There's a lot of stuff going on there, there's a lot of guards. And sometimes the game likes to crash there. Not too common, but it does happen.
So he's got the crash recovery.
Yeah, I hope that Flair has the crash recovery sheet set up. What we do is, for most missions, you can just kind of mission select towards them. But for specifically this mission, it's kind of awkward because you just finish the mission and you end up just in front of the stadium with all the guards chasing you. And there's no way to get to that state by just using mission select. So for that purpose, we have a... most people set up 4 save files on 4 spots where you can't really get to them in any other way. But I don't think Flair has, because he's just level selecting his way to... We'll see where he goes.
Where is that gonna take him?
Yeah, he's just going straight for Palace. This is a bit awkward because this does skip the movement going to Palace.
Yeah, it does look like he's just gonna go back maybe.
I think he's just gonna go back. I'm not sure what he's gonna do. Yeah, that's like the annoying part of not setting up. Oh yeah, I think he's going. You can do like a lap or something? What's the plan here? Yeah, this is unfortunately one of the things that does happen with Jack 2. I think this is the first one that we've seen so far, to be honest. And it's just
Yeah, I'm
kind of
not sure.
impressive considering there's been like 7 or 8 races already. I expected like 1 in 3 to crash more or less.
Yeah.
It's honestly that common. Yeah, it looks like Flair does go all the way back. Which I think is appropriate. I guess it is on Flair for not making the save file. And you do skip a part of the run by like skipping the part with the guards chase you. Although we will cut out the time where that Flair lost from the hotlock itself, so the time where he ended up booting up his PS2 and being in the menus and stuff, that stuff will all be cut out. So Flair's actual time will be maybe a minute faster than you'll actually see on screen. Make sure to account for that. If it ends up mattering, of course, if Dudek wins by more than that margin, then it won't matter.
Really cool strat. I like the roll jump into punch board.
Oh, I see. Yeah, G3 corrects me there. Since this is one of the hard locks that you could say is play cost, because he did like mash out of the cutscene too quickly. Apparently there's rules to that. This is not taken out. Which I think is understandable. You can debate it either way. But it is like well known that this is one of those cutscenes that you kind of have to wait for. So yeah, welcome to Jack 2. You get the full package here. Sometimes you just go too fast. I mean, I wasn't even paying attention, but Dudek's already on underport 2. Looks like underport 1 went well. And off with that H. Wait a second, is my race on like half an hour? It is, isn't it? Oh no, wait, it was at 11, never mind. Yeah. I was like, wait, when's my race? No, there's one more
Yeah,
race
yeah,
after
but,
this, and then I'll be up. Let me double check what race is after this. I think
yeah,
it was
it's
Recon versus
Lord.
Blood. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well.
yeah.
I really can't tell who would win that. Because in this case, I would say Dudek was a pretty clear favorite. Right. Yeah, underboard going pretty well for Dudek. This is really a big part where a lot of people can lose many minutes, as we've seen in some of the previous races.
Yep.
So it's always nice when underboard just goes nice and cleanly. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. It might have actually been. But yeah, that puts you here, which I think is closer. Also puts you closer to actual Zoomers, so that might have been a good decision. And I don't expect Dudek to go for shaft skip with the way he's been playing so far. Most of them taking it safe, and he's been on, yeah, he's on a guard Zoomer, so does not go for shaft skip. The guard Zoomers are kind of quirky in that they have the same top speed as the other Zoomers, and they actually have some pretty tight turning as well, but their overall handling is a bit more rough. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I personally don't really like
Yeah.
driving around on them, despite the fact that they actually turn pretty well.
Yeah, that you can like kind of feel when you're using them. They feel like a little different. You might not understand what exactly it is, but you kind of feel the difference.
Yeah. Dudek seems pretty comfortable with the Zoomer though. Oh, I think Flare dropped a hover there. Has to end up going back out of the weapons factory to try again. Yeah, this right here, this spot is another big crash point because there's just so many enemies around. This is another point where the game likes to crash. You can prevent this one also by holding select a little while. Though I don't think this one, like say you crash there, you haven't pressed select, I don't think that one should count as like player caused. I guess it's debatable, but I would say that's nobody on the player. But hey, I'm just a meager commentator, what do I know?
Yeah, let's have G3, the guy who doesn't even run this game, make all the
Yes.
decisions here.
I wasn't gonna say it. No shade, no shade. Yeah, Project Samos, there's not really too much going on here. As long as you make sure that either Samos doesn't die, it's fine. One of them that gets hit, I don't think it even loses time, unless they both get hit at the same time. And you can feel free to either use the red gun or the blue gun here. A lot of people prefer to use the blue gun in the middle part, where it's a bit more hectic, and use the red gun for the rest. Hey, not yet, Trots, not yet. We're just on like the end of week 1 here.
Yeah, wait till a couple rounds in.
Yeah, speaking of which, there's actually a lot of races if you think about it, because we have 14 players, so each round will have 7 races, and I think we do a total of 8 rounds, so that's 56 races in total. So 112 runs. That's like 112 hours of Jack 2.
Yeah.
Just think about that. It's a lot.
Commentator race. I mean, it's destined that me and JP race each other at least one point in tournament.
Yeah, there's a pretty big chance that I will end up racing Ben at some point. It does depend on how our results will be. Let me hold that thought, as Flaret's coming up to cruise skip as well. I think, yeah, he is going for it. Yeah, goes for the older setup. Shoutouts to that Boomer video. Oh, dodges the shot expertly. That looked kind of cool.
Oh god, that was insane.
Yeah, as I was saying, it does depend on how the scores end up being. Because since there are 14 players and only 8 rounds, it's not true that everyone will face everyone. But everyone around like roughly the same skill level will end up facing each other. The people who are like 2-0, like who won both their first 2 matches, will probably face each other, and people who are losing most of their matches will probably also face each other. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, that is a good system though.
Yeah, I like it. The advantage of like double elimination is that everyone gets to play a lot of Jack 2. I mean, you could consider that a downside, but hey.
Depending on who you are.
Yes, humor me here. Whereas in this format, everyone gets to play the same number of matches. And there is some self-balancing going on in that. The further on the tournament you go, the matches should theoretically become more and more fair. Because obviously some of these first matches are a little bit lopsided. Like this one's not too lopsided, but this one's pretty clearly in favor of Dudek if you just look at the PBs.
Yeah.
Although I will say that does not say everything. Like some people are rusty, some people are like really on a hot streak and just PB by 5 minutes every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
It really doesn't mean everything.
Yeah, especially like runners with like those like 120s and 30s, like they can literally PB on any day and get like a 5-minute PB even during a race or something.
I think you're the prime example of this bit. Like if you just get a clean run, I'm pretty sure you can just get a 110 straight up. Just saying.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Dudek didn't get any of the crashes, luckily, and is now going towards final boss. The hovers here can be pretty tricky because there's lightning going on, which makes the game lag. So it's a lot easier to get drop inputs here and just fall to your death awkwardly.
I'm like convinced this is like one of the hardest hovers in the game, and it's not even hard.
Yeah, I think it's good to take that hover a little bit like slowly, like never rush it so like inputs are conflated.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that actually matters, but it might even be a mental thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's more of a
health
mental thing. You're like, it's like the last hover of the run, stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. Flair runs straight to the door, doesn't get the hard lock. You can argue that's also a little bit risky.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to pass select there for 2 seconds or so to make sure the game doesn't hard lock, since that's that's arguably maybe the most common hard lock spot, I would say. Right after Metal Hat. Dudek's finishing up 4 right now. And gets a 1:11. Come on. 1:11.10. Damn, I was hoping for the 1:11.11. Yeah.
Just go for a 0.3 seconds more. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's a good race time. I think Dudek can be pretty happy with that. GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
And regardless of the crash happening, and if it was player calls or not, this means that Dudek will end up taking the win. Since Flair will have to spend, I don't know, maybe like 15 more minutes, I want to say. Actually, hold on. No, it's more like 12-ish, depending on the rest goes. But... Oh, immediately turns on hover. Turns on the debug, sorry. What is going on with Jack's eyes? I have not seen that. Yeah, you can walk around in cutscenes using debug mode, but I did not know that this happens to Jack's eyes sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Really
either.
cursed. Yeah. This is what you end up being later, kid. What happens if you go to the Wombi's nest. He's down bad. Oh, yeah. Flair gets this box stuck in the end. I saw Headstrong save this earlier. This has happened to a couple people, myself included. I have no idea how you save this. I think you just kind of get lucky and you just kind
Yeah,
of hit it and just pray it goes back forward. Oh, gets it again. Oh no.
that's unfortunate.
That do be unfortunate. Yeah, it's still around the other way. All right. Take it slow, and there you go. Yeah, I agree, Recon. Speaking of close races, I think your race coming up is definitely one that could very easily go either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun race to watch.
Really, the first one I think is really 50-50. Ooh, gets a ledge grab there. It's a little bit scary. You know, I kind of like the fact that when the winner's already done, they just get to goof around
Yeah.
for some time. It's kind of like their victory time.
There are 3 jacks on Dudek's screen right now.
Oh yeah, you can speed up and slow down cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never ended up fiddling around too much with debug. There's a lot of weird, funny stuff you can do.
Yeah. And also Jack 2's debug menu is just broken in general.
Yeah, I love this where you just only see the eyes and the hair. It's pretty gross. What's going on with the eyes though? That's what I want to know. Why
Yeah.
they like that? Right, Flair opting not to go for shaft skip, which I think is the correct call. I'm trying to give very serious commentary here, Duke. Yes. If you've never toyed around with debug yourself, I would highly recommend it. If you just look up like Jack 2 or Jack 3 debug mode, I'm pretty sure you can just Google it like that. So you need to do a pretty specific set of inputs where you hold L3 and then press some of the phase buttons
Yeah,
in a specific order.
and then sometimes on Jack 2, since lag frames are a thing, it just doesn't work sometimes. The code.
Yeah,
I'll have times where I just like I literally do it like and it's just no.
yeah. I feel like what I do wrong with it is that I just slightly move the left stick, but it tends to be like 90% consistent for me if I just do it while pausing.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'll
usually do it with just select pausing.
yeah, and you'll hear like a little bloop sound when you get it. And then you need to do the second sequence, which is the same thing but in reverse. And then you get to do fun stuff like this, like just flying around freely. Wait, Flare really got this hard lock as well.
Oh dang. The double
Yeah,
hard lock.
this is the one I mentioned earlier. Okay, hold on. I just want to confirm with professional streamer G3. If this happens, do you think this is player caused? Because you could argue that if you just press select and you hold it for a couple seconds, that this doesn't happen,
That
which is true.
no, that one you.
I
Well, you could avoid the hard lock by just not playing.
True. Yeah, you could also just not play Jack 2.
But yeah, that one we could remove, but obviously we know that the time Dudek has already won, and the times don't actually matter
Yeah.
specifically. So
It could be relevant in upcoming races.
yes, in
Not trying to
upcoming
curse
races,
you, not trying to curse you, Recon. But like, if a race is really close, then stuff like this could. Like, I just want to prevent stuff like this from being controversial.
All right, so Flair actually does not complete his race, so.
I
Okay.
see. Flair ended up going against Shaw there. And nonetheless, GG's to both.
Yeah, GG's to both the runners.
This was entertaining to watch. Yeah, in the end, Dudek just playing consistently and not really making any too major mistakes. Like, got a pretty bad death there, had to do drive of shame and everything. But it was consistent enough. GG's to both. And